Opposition Leader Peter Dutton has reshuffled his shadow cabinet in a wider than expected frontbench shake-up. Our political correspondent Olivia Casely is live in the studio with me. He's unveiled a new Assistant Treasurer, going to be a pretty important role over the next year or so.
That's right. So he's just stood up in the seat of Dixon and unveiled his new shadow cabinet. And I'm going to take you through the major winners now. So his close ally, Luke Howarth, will become the Shadow Assistant Treasurer and Shadow Minister for Financial Services. Melissa McIntosh is promoted to the Shadow Ministry as the Shadow Minister for Energy, Affordability and also for Western Sydney. So these two roles are the big promotions out of this group and gives us a bit of a flavour of where Peter Dutton's big priorities are in the lead up to the next election: the economy, cost of living, and then outer suburban seats and energy policy. Senator James Paterson, who's been a good performer in Home Affairs, will also take on the role of Shadow Cabinet Secretary. This has been vacated by Senator Maurice Payne. In addition to his existing portfolio responsibility as Shadow Minister for Defence, Andrew Hastie will also assume responsibility for Shadow Minister for Defence Industry and Defence Personnel. Here was Peter Dutton making that announcement earlier.
I'm announcing today that we'll have some changes to our shadow ministry. They're important changes because they reflect the skill and the depth of capacity and capability that we have within our ranks. It's always tough because there are so many people with the requisite skills to take up positions.
And Olivia, the energy debate really heating up as the coalition heads in the direction and controversial direction of nuclear energy.
It is. It's already been drawing a lot of attacks from Labor this morning, including Treasurer Jim Chalmers. But the coalition essentially wanting to end Australia's moratorium on nuclear energy. They'd like to see nuclear added to the energy mix. They say it's a more reliable power source than converting the national energy grid to wind and solar. Now, earlier reports suggest the policy is not going to be limited to small modular reactors, but will also include some larger generation nuclear power plants. But we're not going to see the full details of this for another couple of months. It's still being worked out. It's going to be taken to Shadow Cabinet before being presented to a backbench committee and a party room before the May budget. Here was Peter Dutton providing a few more details about where he'd like to take this policy a little earlier.
We've said that we're only interested in looking at sites where you've got an end-of-life coal-fired generation asset. So that means that you can use the existing distribution network. Renewables are incredibly important and will remain a very significant part of the energy system into the foreseeable future. But you can't turn off the existing system, which is what Mr Albanese is doing at the moment, and just hoping that the battery technology is going to improve overnight.
But Treasurer Jim Chalmers hosing down ideas of using nuclear a little earlier today.
Now, the whole world is moving in the direction of renewables. This is a very big and important opportunity for Australia. We want to grab the vast industrial and economic opportunities of this energy transformation here in Australia, but in Asia more broadly too.
No doubt plenty more debate to come on this issue. Another issue that Peter Dutton was raising in his press conference was electricity prices. He's trying to regain ownership of the cost of living issue and Labor's promises on electricity prices.
Olivia, thanks so much.